The wolf that walks alone is far greater than any wolf that runs in a pack. Let me explain something. I was warned beforehand about certain patriot groups by my brother and my best friend. And my brother is still an active duty Marine, by the way. Now, come to find out, he was right about one particular one here in Arizona. I've been there when the cartel were shooting at one of my teammates who was a ranger, well, retired, but he was a ranger and a U.S. Marine. I ran up the side of a mountain about 600 feet, grade about like that. It varied, but still, full kit with a 30-06 with a 4-time optic, and the guy next to me had a CZ, and he had a pretty much full kit. I had a Camelback. I had 100 plus rounds of ammo on me, comms, and all that. Now, by exercising my First Amendment right and using some adjectives and nouns in their proper context on social media, this group has decided to, a volunteer group now, mind you, to deny me entry to any of their trainings. When I've proven my worth with tactics and skills time and time again, now they find it fit to not only stalk me on my GoFundMe account to help my family get out of Arizona, because it's a horrible place to raise kids with all the gang violence and the poor politics and so on and so forth. Anywho, nothing against Arizona, but the people who run it are just anywho. So I guess the convenient excuse is to try and look into my military background when I've explained the circumstances and told people you're not going to find the records because I can't even get a hold of my records. I've been to the VA in Georgia and sat there for almost 6+ hours when I was discharged after my mom died, and I tried to get my, DD-214s and, all that crap, to find out that because of how I was discharged, I'm not entitled to any of my benefits or any of that. And it wasn't, a dishonorable discharge. It was less than honorable because I was in a breach of contract when I signed up. I was 19, I dropped out, and I had someone pull some strings. Well, I didn't have them, they offered to. But someone pulled some strings and got me in. All that aside, now apparently, word through the grapevine, because I'm still in contact with quite a few of the members, I'm being accused of stealing valor. Anyone who knows me knows this is an extreme hot button topic, and this is the stuff that sends me through a rage. Like, bad things happen to good people when this is said to my face. I've actually ended up in jail because I ripped someone a new asshole, literally, for saying that to my face. Now, all that withstanding, my brother Robert told me this is the type of stuff that's going to happen dealing with civilians, dealing with people who are middle class and upper middle class. My brother's exact words were, it's a bunch of middle-aged people wanting to play soldier in the desert, but they don't want to do what has to be done. Now, this is not saying everyone in the group. This is a vast majority of them, however. And apparently the people who make the decisions are no better than the jocks and the cheerleaders and, the cliques that I dropped out of high school dealing with. One of the multitude of reasons why I dropped out of high school. That said, I have no ill will. There's some people that, I've made it clear my standpoint with them, and I respect them. However, the people who make the decisions obviously aren't worth their weight in salt. And that's saddening, it's disheartening, it's offensive, knowing that I was out there and I bled, I sweat, I had dirt in my mouth and dirt in my cuts and had to come home and, open the scab and clean out my wounds. And knowing that I was there when these cartel members were shooting at my teammates, and I was covering people in a life or death situation here in Arizona. when most of them would like to sit on their laurels and just come out to a training once a month or whenever there's a, you know, statewide FTX. They want to show up and pretend to be useful. Meanwhile, certain people would go out and, you know, work, you know, hand in hand with Border Patrol to stop these people from coming in. Um, Anywho, there are certain members who have decided to come to my GoFundMe account and try and dig and make life difficult for me. That's okay. That's cute. Never met a person I'm afraid of. Probably won't, you know, in my lifespan. I haven't been scared of anyone since I was 16 or 17. But to threaten me and try to spread word through the grapevine, rumors really, it's not even facts, that I was never in the military, that, you know, I've burned bridges. That's honestly, it's kind of cute. It's high school drama. That's he said, she said crap. And it shows me that I should have never respected them in the first place. But they talked a good show. I mean, great salesman, you know. I expected better. But if you want to copy my DD214s, they're right here. Go fuck yourself. Because I guarantee you, I'm better than half of you who want to cast stones and talk shit about people and act like you're better than me. I've never once, you know, disobeyed a direct order within said Patriot group, unless it conflicted something that I believed in my heart. The fact that I don't need to apply. No one needs to apply, really. Simply by being a U.S. citizen, you're part of a Patriot group and a Homeland Security. If you're more worried about red tape and PR than the actual overall being of our country and our state, frankly, you're a very, very poor example of patriotism. Horrible example. And that's just a simple fact. I mean, anyone with common sense and, you know, a functioning brain above, you know, an IQ or an EQ of fucking 100, yeah, common sense dictates you're a poor example. You're a horrible reference of what patriotism is. You know, to use words that could be construed as racism, I understand, could be, you know, worrisome to a group that's worried about their face and their overall appeal to the masses. I get it. But you cannot disband somebody or fire them, more or less. First of all, you can't kick someone out of a volunteer group. I mean, you just can't. It doesn't work that way. When it's used in context and it's explained to its minutia, you really can't say that that person's a bad person. But I guess integrity varies from person to person, and quite frankly, finding out that there are quite a few people in said Patriot group who are paid to allow cartel over the border, what do you expect, right? I mean, frankly, I understand why a lot of people left that group and started their own, you know, little shebang and little offshoots who don't want any affiliation with the group. Being a victim of the drama and BS, I understand now why a lot of people just went and did their own thing. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's water under the bridge. I was warned. My little brother is 27. He's going to be coming up on his sergeant promotion soon, and he'll be out in 2017. And my best friend is 25. And they both pretty much said the same thing, you know. And I was like, no, they're good people, you know. They're benevolent and they have a good cause, and whatever. You know what? I try to believe people for what they say, as opposed to, you know, my intuition. And my intuition told me, you know, be careful. There's a lot of, clicks. And I was wrong. My brother was right, my best friend was right, and I get what I get for trusting people. So, sadly, you know, I'm sure if you Google image search enough, you'll find pictures of me in Iraq. Uh, I was, you know, active duty for 4 years, and I was in reserves for 2 years. So I'm pretty sure somewhere there's a goddamn picture. If you feel like doing the extensive searching, which it could probably be days of searching, you may get lucky and find them in a couple hours. I don't know. I've found pictures of myself, and I'm not proud of what I did. I'm not proud of what happened, so I don't keep them. That's the reason I burned most of my stuff and sold most of my stuff and gave away a lot of my stuff when I was discharged. That and my mom was dying when I got out, so I'm very ashamed of a lot of the things that I was involved in, but you follow orders. I mean, woohoo, fucking corporal, E4, don't really make a lot of shot calling. I'm still bottom of the totem pole and shit rolls right onto my head. But, hey, you know what, you believe what you believe, and just be careful when you get involved with three percenters and Spartans and militias and Molam Lob groups, because some of them may be really good people, benevolent people, a worthy cause, and they, do what they say and say what they do. And then there's some that, quite frankly, are a lot of smoke. They're a smoke screen, and it's no one I want to associate with, and I don't think anyone else would want to associate with if they actually had integrity. I've always been taught my whole life to question authority and voice my opinions and use the rights that my grandfather fought for, and my great-grandfather fought for, and that all these soldiers who died for, and not to listen to or be around anyone who tries to deny me these rights. When I was in the Army, I didn't have any rights. I signed a contract. There was no free speech. I did what I was told and was told what to do, and I did it. And, that's what happens when you sign a contract. But as a civilian, as a volunteer, I'm going to say what needs to be said, that, I have the balls to say. I mean, a lot of people think it, they just don't have the balls to say it. Excuse me, coffee's more important. But when it comes down to people getting butthurt over you speaking the truth, with all due respect, fuck them. They're pussies and pansies, and if you're afraid of the truth being said on either social media or in public, then you're part of the fucking problem, dude. And this is not to anyone specific. You have to stand up for all of your rights. I mean, every one of them. And as often as possible. I'm aware of what was said and how it can be offensive and maybe tarnish an image. However, those are my rights as an American. Those are everyone's rights as an American, and if you have a problem with it, you're not an American. You're a communist. You're a socialist. You're part of the problem. You're part of the machine that's making things worse. I was accused on a couple of accounts of saying something I didn't say, and I let it slide. I wasn't going to challenge it. I mean, first of all, the hierarchy within certain patriot groups is horrible. You can't get in touch with the commanding officers. You can't get in touch with anyone of rank to get an issue dealt with. Because I tried that multiple times. And I was told, oh, you did it. It doesn't matter what you say. Wow. So, there's no chance for a tribunal or a hearing to defend myself and present facts. It's just, you're out. Or, fuck you, you did it, regardless of whether you did it or not. That's okay. I played football in high school. I did martial arts in high school, and I know there are certain cliques that run things that way. And if you're new to the clique, guess what? Doesn't matter what you think, what you feel, or, whether you did it or not. If someone who has a position of power says you did it, guess what? You did it. I mean, it's the same as certain politicians. If they say you're guilty, guess what? You're guilty. And you can have every witness in the world saying you didn't do it, but power says you did it. It's okay. I'm glad I learned now as I'm heading out of town, so I didn't keep some of these contacts because I see, how they work up here. Oh, they talk a good show. And they know a little bit when it comes to some things, but overall, they're full of crap. They need a good suppository or a lot of laxatives. But I'm not the one to administer it because I'm not going to be here. I don't care. I don't try to rock the boat. But when something's not kosher or it's not going the way it should, to work efficiently, I'm going to say something every time. We did some post drills a little up north, and they asked me why. It was dry fire. There was no live munitions. We had zip ties in the guns, flags and all that. But it was to simulate a checkpoint with an ambush. Well, if I've never been in combat and I'm stealing valor, how did I have the gut instinct to know that the car was an ambush? And even though I didn't have a rifle at the time, even with my sidearm, which is a 92, it's a Beretta, it's real. I mean, we had flags in them, so they were unloaded, but I rushed the car as quickly as possible, yelling commands clearly and extremely audibly. And sure enough, it was to simulate an ambush. And the car before that was perfectly okay. But I guess you're right, I'm stealing valor. I've never been in combat. I've never jumped out of a plane. I've never been to Iraq. I've never been positioned on a guard post. I don't know anything. But I'm pretty sure the guy they were shooting at with the AK was thankful that I was there. Was thankful that the other guy was there and we knew what the fuck we were doing. It's okay though. Talk the mess, talk the noise, try and disparage me as a person, try to actually ruin my reputation. You're not going to do any good. You're just going to look like an ass because everyone who knows me and who's actually, served with me, and my friends who've had their asses on the line on the streets and I've been there to protect them, they'll be the first to tell you you're full of shit. They'll be the first to punch you straight in your fucking mouth for saying that shit. Because I guarantee if my brother was here and he heard it, he'd have been knocking on their doors. And I thought about it. I was this close to going up to one of the guys' houses that I really respect and be like, hey, look, man, what's going on? But I'm not going to start a problem, People are entitled to their beliefs even if they're complete shit. I mean, look at, libertarians. Come on, dude. We all know libtards are fucking morons. But they're entitled to their beliefs because it's America. That's your First Amendment. You have a right to, believe that the sky is made of blue cotton candy. And even though you're probably wrong, that's your belief. That's your entitlement. You're allowed to be pagan or Christian or Muslim or whatever. But it's funny, people get butthurt when you voice these opinions. I don't give a shit. I don't give a what. You get butthurt about me speaking facts and calling it like it is, you're part of the problem, dude. My opinions offend you. If the facts I choose to share offend you, get the fuck out of the country. Go to Mexico. Go to Canada. Go to England. Go to the Middle East. Go to Africa. Go to Russia. Go to China. Go to North Korea. Go to South Korea. Go to Japan. Get the fuck out of here, though. Because I promise you, when the shit hits the fan, you don't want to be downrange of me. Because I can already tell you what side you're going to be fighting on. And it's not the side for the rest of us. It's the side for who has the money. And that's a shame. That's nothing patriotic about that. God bless you all and stay safe, my friends.